Damn.
Fucking hell.
Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll start the second part of the press conference. Coach, you go with a comment, and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, just have a
Yes, sir.
wave of emotions and when you have whenever your season ends, it's always it's always emotional, and but especially with this group and all that they've accomplished, and the two gentlemen to my right, was just kind of a quick. We just had I think a beautiful. I wish we could bottle what just was expressed in our locker room. It's all the best stuff. It supersedes any a scoreboard, accolades, accomplishments. It's the really, really good stuff. It's the raw but the really good stuff. The expression of love, the expression of awe. It makes a painful moment actually, in a weird way, flip it to the most beautiful thing. And so just kind of those emotions going through my mind. But our guys, we talked about emptying the tank. And, they did that. Obviously, credit to NYU, just an excellent team. And I thought, they made a few more plays like they had in some games this year. But I'm in awe of our team and their resolve and their character, and just beaming with pride to be associated with these two young men and the young men in our program.
Was there anything that X's and O's wise you were trying to do differently versus NYU? You're very familiar with them, played them twice, but anything you're trying to do differently tonight?
Yeah, I think that's what makes them, who they are, and there's not a lot of weaknesses there, right? They're really well constructed. And I said it yesterday, I think. It's credit to Dave and that staff to bring a group together that, we're all in different programs and to play like they've played together for years. And that's, I think, really difficult to do. It's a credit to those young men as well. And, I think when we looked at the two previous games, what we saw is they had a decided advantage in paint scores, rebounding. We're one of the best rebounding teams in the country, and they out-rebounded us in both games. And tonight was pretty tight, but so I think we felt like we needed to be the more physical team, the more aggressive team. I thought we were physical tonight, and you got to make some decisions. That Hampton Sanders, I tell you what, he's had some great games against us, and if he's going to knock down, threes behind ball screens, good luck, because he's as quick as players you're going to find in Division III or I think any level, and it makes it a tough thing. I thought we had a good plan. Our guys were trusting it. We wanted to play to our identity, and sometimes you tip your cap to the opponent, and they just were a little bit better today.
Peyton, I'm going to ask you a tough question, but I know you had Sanders a couple times, at least in the second half. I know he had one big shot over you that you were really frustrated by, and then Coach talked about what a game he had, and you kind of relived that moment as far as I could tell. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I just looked at the stats, and he was 6 for 6, and I was just amazed, I guess. But, yeah, like, at this point in the season, players make plays, and our game plan was to go under on his ball screens because that's what the numbers had said all year was, not the best shooter off the bounce, and 6 for 6 is pretty good. So, just a credit to him. I like him. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. So, happy I guess, for him. But yeah, that's a very impressive performance.
In the back.
Dwayne Walker, Christina of Girl Hoops TV. This is a follow-up question to Hayden. Hayden, obviously you left everything out on the floor, very emotional at game's end. I want you to tell us, what were your thoughts when the clock struck 0, and what words did you exchange with Coach?
Yeah, just a lot of emotions, I just, I give it my all, every day. And so really I'm just sad that I won't have a locker room anymore. That's why I just keeps popping up in my head that I'm no longer a college basketball player and I don't have my teammates. And, I just with Coach, I just, thanked him for believing in me the way he does. I take a lot of crazy shots and he budges sometimes, but, most of the time he just trusts me more than anyone does. And so, thanked him for that. And then our athletic director, he just, when I was a freshman, I told him I wanted to get to the Final Four. And we accomplished that. Obviously came up short, but yeah.
Congratulations on an outstanding career.
Thank you.
Right here.
Hayden, Drake, you guys have been quintessential faces of WashU men's Bears basketball and the entire WashU athletics program for years now. I'm going to miss you guys. You guys have been great interviewees. And congratulations to both of you on incredible careers, top UAA caliber careers. I'm going to miss you both. To you, either one of you could answer this, but the feelings that come, there's so many feelings right now, and I know it's bitter after losing. What is one thing you guys have both left behind that you can talk about at least briefly right now that is most meaningful to you?
Yeah, when I was a freshman, I feel like the entire team that just I came into was just very kind and just like absorbed me into their friend group. And I felt like I had a group of guys that I really cared about and trusted very deeply. And I really hope that I left that behind. I've tried my best to take in the underclassmen and just show them a good time and just be kind and just help them through classes and just like work through different things with them. And I feel like that's really something I hope I left behind.
Okay.
To kind of piggyback off of that, as a former Washington basketball player myself, it's been an honor to watch both of you guys grow over the past 4 years. And kind of on the flip side, what is the biggest lesson that each of you have been able to take away on the team?
For me, it's just I think just what, believing in a group of people and loving each other and how powerful that is in all walks of life. Our group's been through a lot in my 4 years. Obviously with Justin, he just, like he said, just write your story from the first page to the very last. And so just showing up every day with a great attitude and pouring into one another and just having a ton of love for each other is what I've learned.
For me, it's something I've learned. I mean, you don't get to where we are right now without having the same approach to every game. Like Yuckham is, our schedule is to a T. We do the exact same thing, same approach. We believe in ourselves, and I feel like that's the biggest lesson that I've learned. We can't get here if we don't believe in ourselves. So.
Just for you guys, what degrees are you getting? What are the plans after graduation? Do you have them yet?
I'm a physics major, so I was gonna go get a master's in mechanical engineering. Not sure where yet, but.
I'm a finance and psychology major, and I accepted a job in St. Louis at a consulting firm.
What are you guys going to miss most about WashU basketball?
Great career, by the way. I guess just my teammates. Like I said, just like a locker room. And I don't. At least in my experience working internships, there's no like locker room where you can just, show up and mess around for 30 minutes every day. So just like those interactions, just like, are like just every little moment with our team, our lifts, our practices, our little kinks that, our program's very unique, and I'm sure a lot of programs are very unique in a lot of different ways. But just, just missing showing up and having my best friends around me, almost all day.
Yeah, I'm exactly with Hayden here. I mean, the whole team, they're all my best friends. Like, just going on away trips, like traveling, being able to have the privilege to share WashU, we like going to the airports, like that's, I don't know, something about that is just a really fun experience. But yeah, like our first UAA like away trip we go on, we have like skits and like all the freshmen every year have to put together something, some improv acting, and it's times like that I'm gonna miss.
Anybody else? Right?
Both of you guys have made it, obviously in the same class, but you've made it to tournament every year. And Hayden, you said that freshman year, you said by senior year, I want to make it to the Final Four. And you did that. And I guess my question is, before the game even started, when you stepped onto the court or even before that, what was going through your head, and how were you able to channel that energy to drive you and not, I guess, have it take control of you, if that makes sense?
Yeah, honestly, I really didn't have a lot of thoughts today. That's like most games, though. I guess you just go out there and you shoot around in warm-ups. Hopefully your shot feels good, and you just go and play. And I was kind of expecting it to be a little different, but it was pretty consistent with what I've experienced most games. But yeah, it can definitely be overwhelming. But every game in the playoffs can be like that because it's it's win or go home, of course. And so obviously we wanted to win, and I thought we were going to win the whole time, but it happens.
You mentioned that alums offered great support for the team during this tournament, and since graduating, this is also pretty good trip, but how do you plan to stay connected to the team now and offer your support as future alums?
I'm curious to this answer.
For next season, I know I'll be watching every single game. Wherever I am, and like I said, these are my best friends. I don't understand how I'm not going to keep in touch with them. Yeah, but hopefully I'll be in St. Louis for the summer. I can keep in touch a little bit longer, but.
Yeah, I guess the way that it occurs right now is I just have a couple of group chats with a handful of guys who are pretty connected, and they reach out with hype texts and congratulating us on big wins and things like that. And it's probably easy now, like the first couple of years, but we'll see down the line. But just staying, checking the website, checking the scores, watching games, and then just giving feedback when I can. That's what I would expect.
The great thing about these guys, and that's one thing we talked about in the locker room, is I think when you go through, your goal is always, do you leave it a little bit better than you found it, and obviously we're very proud of the tradition of our program and the success we've had historically, and we just talk about we're just trying to stand on the shoulders of those before us and then leave something else behind, and these two guys right here have absolutely done it. I know that we're going to feel their presence every day, whether it be something on the court or off the court. They've poured and invested so much into their teammates. It's one of the coolest things, and it's not always the norm. And I think they've learned that because others poured into them when they were young, and it just kind of continues that cycle. And so their legacy and their impact and their is going to be felt, every day going forward.
Last one right here.
One quick sentence. What would each of you tell your freshman self?
I'm proud of you.
I'm probably in the same spot. I'm proud of you.
All right. Thank you, Coach and players. Great season. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, thank you guys for all you do, all the media and everything. It's pretty cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shout out.